Welcome everyone to the weekend recap episode of Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, software releases, hardware releases, websites by plebes or plebs. Drop us a like, subscribe. Joining us today is fellow toxic Bitcoiner and the grand Pumbaa of Bitcoin kindergarten at My Living Truth. We're going to go to the numbers though. He's going to join us in a bit. Let's do it.
Number time.
At the time of this recording, the block height is 695,960. The Bitcoin price, 47,105. Chain rewrite days, 996. Total public lightning capacity, 2,277.52. Yeah, we're holding up pretty strong. Anyways, sats per dollar, 2,123. And the blocks to the halvening, we are at 144,039. It just changed. See? Things just moved ahead right there.
By the way,
that just happened.
According to the comments, Phil,
yes,
you won. It is the halvening.
It is the halvening? People like, yeah, nice.
It is the halvening. You won.
It just sounds so much better.
The people have spoken. Okay?
I like that.
They don't agree with Nico. They agree with Phil. So
I appreciate you all. Thank you.
It's the halvening. But anyways, yeah, look, back is good numbers, good consolidation numbers. But again, the signal is the Lightning Network. That thing just keeps on crawling up. Honey Badger doesn't care. The Lightning Network, Honey Badger doesn't care. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. The cubes is going to be our fail again. Okay, but he was kind of going back and forth here with parabolic guy Jason Williams. Anyways,
that guy's a quack.
Huh?
That guy's a quack.
Yeah. Anyways, so here, so Mark Cuban said in the original one, says Dogecoin is the strongest cryptocurrency as a medium of exchange. With what evidence, I have no clue. I just love how these people make these random comments. So anyways, Jason Williams comes back and goes, Jason, the parabolic guy says, I'm Cuban, has no effing clue what he's talking about. Infinite supply, meme token, bro. What the fuck? Okay. The specific tweet, though, okay, from Mark Cuban, and this is the one, I don't even know if these guys know how to look anything up before they say anything, but it's funny, right? But because because they've had one stroke of luck in life, people think that somehow they know better than other people. It's fantastic. There's actually there's a book that I read. I'm totally forgetting what it's called.
I know what you're talking about, too.
It has exactly to do with this, right? Like, it's kind of like survivorship bias and stuff like that. Anyways, all right, here we go. With BTC, you have too much concentration of wealth with whales. Let's focus on that one. Just keep that one in your head for a second. They can act like a central bank controlling how and where BTC is available and create deflation, inflation. I know, it's so cringe. By how much they buy. What are you talking about? Anyways, how much they spend and how much they pay and what they spend it on. So this is what happens. This is what's really sad, right? And this is where we realize that oftentimes the people that are successful in the fiat world, they're not successful because they're so smart. They're successful because the majority of us don't understand what is going on. Okay? Like, I know that people will beg to differ with that one, but I don't really care. I don't think people like this are that smart. I just don't.
Phil.
Yes.
Pause for 1 sec.
Yes.
Take a look at the what's happening trending page to your right.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the top where it says Taliban fighters enter presidential palace in Kabul.
Yep.
And look at the bottom. Look what it says. What does that say?
Yeah, it sure does. A discussion is underway about the rise of cryptocurrencies and the Nixon administration abandoning the gold standard in 1971. People are waking up, man. People are waking up.
I apologize for interrupting.
Nope, not at all. That was a great interruption. And you know what? It kind of goes to the point that we're talking about, right? So it got me thinking. He's talking about these whales and controlling Bitcoin, okay? Now, we know that the whales have nothing to do with the code. Jameson Lopp wrote an amazing article. I'll dig it up and I'll add it to the show notes so people could check it out. And it has to do with who own, essentially how Bitcoin core is controlled with the programmers and GitHub and the keys and everything like that. It's very, very interesting, eye-opening article. Nothing to do with that, but it got me thinking along those lines, and then it got me thinking, well, let's go take a look at the richest addresses in Bitcoin. Maybe this can tell me something, right? So let's take a look looks like over 51% of the addresses have 0 to 0.001 Bitcoin, okay? But take a look at the concentration all the way down here, from 100,000 to 1 million coins. The percent of all the coins is 3%. Okay.
But no one only 3.
Hold on. Let's take a look at let's even just take a look at 1,000 coins, right? We're looking at 42% plus 14%. Okay? Anyways, let's go take a look. Let's go take a look at Dogecoin. Let's take a look. Okay. Dogecoin has, because people like unit bias, right? But a lot of people don't know that they even are giving into unit bias, but Dogecoin has a lot of shitcoin floating around. Okay, so I kind of had to start the range from the 100,000 and go up. So if you start at the 100,000 range and go all the way up to the highest amount of coins that you can have, right? Which is 100 billion. Well, guess what? This all adds up to 93.28% of the supply. So he's talking about the whales controlling the market and the whales controlling how all of this works. Like, he doesn't even understand how, I'm so surprised he doesn't understand how inflation and deflation works, because whales buying and selling coins don't introduce inflation. There's always the same number of frickin' coins, you genius. Anyways, oh my gosh, these people. Okay, so you could see when we're talking about the addresses that have the most, it certainly looks to me like Dogecoin is the one that is run by the whales, Mark. Anyways. I figured, you know what? I started digging through this this afternoon, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Dude, when I saw that CNBC thing, I can't believe that's not a parody. I was like, really? Did he really say that? And this just goes back to something that Max Kaiser said on our show the first time he came on our show, Phil, is that Bitcoin and egomaniacs don't mix well. The fact that Mark Cuban did not invent Bitcoin, the fact that he just wasn't like a first mover or whatever, that he can't control it, drives him absolutely crazy. You see the same thing with Elon, right? When on the B word event, the first thing that he had to say is that, like, look, I know something about this stuff. I invented PayPal. You know what I'm saying? So it's that concept of, because I didn't make it, right? Because I didn't create Bitcoin, therefore it can't be that important, right? It's these other coins, right? But once you dig deep into that, it's exactly what you said. The numbers don't lie. Phil, you showed the receipts, right? The wealth distribution, first of all, in Bitcoin, I think is perfectly fine, right? And yeah, the wealth distribution in Doge is literally that's like the developers about to dump on everyone when they see the need to do so. So it's like, man, it's just a total fucking lie. It's bullshit. Propaganda, and again, it's an egomaniac, just like Elon. Just because of the fact that they didn't invent Bitcoin, right? They're taking down a lot of people with them in the process. These people shouldn't even be given a voice. They know nothing of Bitcoin. Anyways, Optimus Fields, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I saw that tweet and Phil, like, what the fuck? Oh, excuse me. Like, what is Mark Cuban talking about? He obviously doesn't know what the hell is going on over here. And he's shilling the meme coin because, like you're saying, Nico, it makes him feel better about himself. And it's absolute bananas. You shouldn't be taking your Bitcoin advice from Mark Cuban. And he just proves it to us every day when he tweets about it. And, I don't care about the wealth concentration in Bitcoin. What we really should be caring about is the wealth concentration in US dollar. And if we pull those charts up, like, that's worse than anything out here. So, Mark Cuban can go, talk all the shit he wants, but we all know the facts out here. We all know what time it is. So it's just another fiater doing fiat things. And, we'll just continue to shitpost and win. It feels good to win. So let him talk.
Absolutely, dude. We will meme them out of existence. And you're exactly right, Optimus. It's the Cantillon effect of the fiat system, right, that has created this enormous wealth inequality, which is what you were referring to, and that's literally the result, right, of the fact the fact that when the money printer prints, right, it tends to benefit the people at the top, right, and once it starts to trickle down, right, it tends to not benefit the people at the bottom because it's already used value. It's already been dumped onto the economy, right? So about 45% of the American population save in fiat, right? They're not benefiting when the money printer goes burr. It's only the top 1% to 10% that benefit when the money printer goes burr. So you're absolutely right, Optimus. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Meme Review, sponsored by
Citadel 21. All right, everybody. So check out this meme for today. It's a very special meme. It's brought to us by Lena Sish. Definitely a fellow pleb. Let's check it out. And I just like to mention, guys, today is the 50th happy birthday of the fiat dollar. And I'm assuming that's why it was trending. What the F happened in 1971. But anyways, let's check it out. And of course, in 1971, that is when Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard. Anyways, let's check it out. 1971, it finally arrived. 2000, people can't save because their money's losing value. Let them spend it. Burr. 2020, just print more. We're in a crisis and nobody has savings. Just print and send them some of it. Burr. 2021, inflation is even higher now. Tell them it's transitory. Burr. 2030, hello? Look how tight. Dude, wow. Lena Sish, legends. That was one of the best memes I've ever seen. Holy crap. Wow. Okay, and that's wow. That was such a powerful meme, and because it was a powerful meme, I'm going to give it this box of essential water. It's delicious water, but inside the box is my good old lemon. And yes, this is the lemon that I gave as a score about 3 months ago.
What?
It's pruning up, baby. It's just getting smaller and smaller. Anyways, Phil, what would you give it?
Why do you have that lemon in that box?
Because it makes a good score.
Anyways. All right, you know what? That meme was definitely a wake-up call, and for that, I'm giving it my cup of joe.
Oh, okay. Classic cup of joe. What about you, Optimus Fields, the king of Bitcoin kindergarten?
All right, guys. I got over here a DIY 3D printed Bitcoin coaster from CryptoCloaks.com. Go print yourself one.
Boom! Incredible scores. Shout out to CryptoCloaks. Definitely go check out for the best 3D printed needs at CryptoCloaks.com. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by
CryptoCloaks.
Saigon, April the 30th, 8 o'clock. The last American helicopter on the roof of the American embassy prepares to lift off the last of the evacuees fleeing before the advancing communist armies.
All right, guys. So, history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. So, in 1971, Richard Nixon took us off of the gold standard. In 1975 was the fall of Saigon, the end of the Vietnam War. And coincidentally, 50 years later, on the anniversary, or on the birthday of fiat money, guess what happened? The fall of Kabul, and there you see American helicopters, as we showed you in the cold opening, pulling out. Looks very similar, doesn't it? Anyways, let's check out this article from The Intercept. The fall of Kabul. Joe Biden claimed zero parallels between U.S. withdrawals from Afghanistan and Vietnam. As the Taliban take Kabul, he's proven wrong. So again, you have a president saying there's zero parallels between U.S. withdrawals from Afghanistan and Vietnam, but just played you some videos and they look awfully similar. And I would just like to say, maybe that 50-year Fiat birthday, maybe some cosmic justice there. Anyways, let's move on. What was the Nixon shock that we keep referring to? This was in 1971. Richard Nixon unilaterally canceled any direct international convertibility of the United States dollar to gold. Now, let's see what Stacey Herbert had to say, and she feels exactly the same way we do. 50th anniversary of Nixon shock. The Saigon 2.0 events of today perfectly captures 50 years of fiat. We completely agree with her at Simply Bitcoin, right? Let's check out this tweet from Pinboard. The Pentagon has now effed up 2 wars in a row and wasted trillions with no career consequences for failure, and not even much congressional interest in what went wrong. The same pattern extends to prohibitively cost dead-end weapons programs. There is no way to fail at the DoD. And why is this possible? Because the state has a total monopoly on the goddamn creation of money. So they don't care but to spend. Fiat incentivizes war. It's more profitable. Bitcoin makes war expensive. Therefore, less war. Anyways, moving on. Taliban fighters posing with U.S. weapons in a base they just captured easily. This is what we spend $1 trillion on. I spend, a crap ton of money in taxes every year. I'm glad this dude in a turban is got some of that taxpayer money that he might possibly kill us with. Anyways, moving on. Phil, you had something to say?
Yeah, how do you think we make the next war, right? We leave the weapons behind, they take them, they train people with them, they start using them on their own people and creating hostages, and then we can come back in as the saviors at some point, and that enables us to then do more money printing to fuel the next wars. Dude, it's such a scam. It is such a scam.
It is a scam. And now you could make the argument that perhaps, the U.S. military-industrial complex is helpful. It's actually improving America. Well, here is some information by Lynn Alden, and she begs to differ. However, the U.S. spent trillions of dollars to lose a 20-year kinetic war in Afghanistan and Iraq. I might add Vietnam as well, while also deindustrializing itself with its approach to trade to benefit U.S. corporations over the U.S. public. As a result, the U.S. has among the lowest median wealth among advanced nations as we've reduced our labor share, doubled down on financialization for decades. Remember what I told you, that Bitcoin definancializes. Why? Because the financial industry is so big because people want to maintain their wealth. And they have to maintain their wealth because they can't leave it in dollars because it's constantly losing value so that they could print more money, so that they could pay for more useless wars. Anyways, financially for decades, and sold off chunks of that financialized corporate ownership and real estate ownership to foreign entities, right? So not only are we going to war, we're selling U.S. assets to other countries, specifically China. Anyways, moving on. Right? And this is why Bitcoin is important, right? This is why Bitcoin is important. Not only does it end war, right? It also not only does it end war, it gives you the power to vote with your wallet, but also your feet. And this is a great example of that. To read this tweet from M. Sharif. My heart breaks into pieces for my people who have lined up outside the banks to cash their savings and waiting at the gates of foreign embassies to secure visas to leave. If these people were using Bitcoin, they wouldn't have to line up outside a bank to get
Nope.
their savings. And I doubt their savings are going to stay there as the Taliban take over Afghanistan. Anyways, moving on. This is what Alex Gladstein had to say, and he agrees with us. The insanity of forever wars end under a Bitcoin standard. But let's find out why. And I found this very interesting post by this guy that seemingly popped out of nowhere. His name is Jason Lowry. A lot of us seem to think that he's a spook, right? He joined August 2021, right? And he already has 12,000 followers. Okay, interesting. But anyways, he did have something really interesting to say. Let's check out his CV real quickly. So this guy obviously knows what he's talking about. Jason Lowry, he's part of the U.S. Space Force, and he went to MIT. That's freaking crazy. Let's check out his post from LinkedIn. War is the globally adopted proof-of-work social consensus protocol that nodes, countries, in parentheses countries, use to validate the legitimate state of property and its chain of custody. Militaries project force across time, energy, in a fundamental game of probability to trigger a capitulation event. This is functionally identical to Bitcoin proof-of-work miners projecting energy to probabilistically trigger the end of each block. The reward for militaries that succeed in probabilistically triggering capitulation is that participating nodes will grant consensus to the military's host claims over what the legitimate state of property is. Thus, the history of warfare and its corresponding chain of custody is literally just a proof-of-work blockchain. Ever notice how the reserve currency belongs to the country with the most powerful military? That isn't a coincidence. Society instinctively values proof of work as the fair consensus mechanism. Because of their functional identity, militaries are essential to our current system as miners are to Bitcoin. Bitcoin miners are functionally identical to the role of military. Said in another way, Bitcoin adoption represents the opportunity to partition our current state of property onto a new blockchain that would hot swap our current proof-of-work backed social consensus protocol, also known as WAR, for Bitcoin proof-of-work as a surrogate consensus protocol and dramatically reduce the functional utility of militaries, war, and violence. This makes global Bitcoin adoption a potentially highly disruptive and powerful technology of U.S. strategic deterrence, right? And as he points out right here, instead of mutually assured destruction, which is what, the nuclear weapons, brought about, under a Bitcoin standard, it would be called mutually assured preservation. Right. So you heard it from the horse's mouth himself. This guy studied at MIT, right? And he is basically making the argument that wars and militaries kind of serve as essentially our solution to kind of this proof of the world's solution to whose property belongs to who and this and that. But with the advent of Bitcoin, it makes militaries obsolete. Very, very, very interesting article, very technical. I'm going to put it down in the comments, but I agree with every single one of his points, even though I can't say it as nicely as he can. Anyways, Phil?
Spook or not, his words are beautiful. That was very, very well said. Great explanation. You know what? As soon as I remember, the first time I actually figured out that, oh my gosh, because they can print money, these wars last forever. Once upon a time, these wars were funded by bonds that the public actually bought, right? This was, right, the war bonds, right? They don't ask for anyone's permission anymore. They don't need our permission anymore. They're the ones that print the money. So, yeah, these infinite wars, these are fiat wars. That's exactly what that is. This is a fiat war. And Bitcoin is, you really got to think, right? Why would you separate yourself from Bitcoin to send people off to some other country to drop dead? like on both sides, like people are going to be forced, because once it's actually your blood, sweat, and tears that are going into it, people are going to second guess it. It's not the same thing. Like here, it doesn't matter. Like people are maybe against it, but the government doesn't care because they can print. But with Bitcoin, they can't just do that. So
he mentions something in the article which is really interesting. He makes the claim, and of course this is very debatable, that the war was essentially necessary, right? It was like mankind's own proof of work to determine essentially the best chain, or and then that would become the reserve currency, right? But now Bitcoin has made that type of violence obsolete. Now you don't need to do that, right? So it's a fascinating article, and it just adds to essentially what Bitcoiners have been saying for so long, is that Bitcoin just makes war expensive, right? And fiat, it's not only does it make it affordable, it also makes it profitable, right? So it's even worse. It's like, it's like you want more and more war, right? And that explains all the neocons, right? Anyways, Optimus Fields, what are your thoughts on this?
I saw this getting a lot of attention on Twitter over this weekend. I took a little break from Twitter this weekend, but I do want to nitpick on the point that he made about war and the proof of work mechanism and the reserve currency. Because I think historically he's correct, where the country that has the strongest currency will be able to build the biggest military. But in today's time, I don't know if necessarily our military is proof of work as we look at it. Because if they can just print money out of the stroke of a pen, then it's not necessarily proof of work how we like to look at it, because they can just buy the biggest military. So while I do think he's right on a lot of this stuff, I just understanding the monetary system we're from, it's like I don't know if it holds complete water, but he's smarter than I am. He went to MIT, he's got the accolades, but
he's got the credentials, bro.
Yeah, he's got the credentials. I'm just a Twitter shit poster. But
he's flexing the creds.
Yeah, but from what I see right now, the connection, he is correct that the country with the strongest currency, or the world reserve currency, does have the biggest military behind it. If we look at it from a Bitcoin lens, or from our lens, it would seem that, yes, we have the biggest currency or the biggest military because we control the currency and we're able to print as much of it as we need to buy the military needs we want. So while, yes, I do agree that military and war is a form of proof of work, who can exert the most energy against their opponent. When it comes to the financial aspect, I might have to nitpick a little bit, but hey, I haven't really been following this that much. I could be in the wrong side of this. I could be looking at it from a different lens. But right when I heard what you guys were saying, that's kind of the first thing that popped in my head. But yeah, I don't know. I have to dive deeper into this guy's posts. I saw he blew up on Twitter, and then I saw the cyber hornets attacking him, and he's battling it with Anand on Twitter. So it'll be fun to watch the next couple of weeks and see what happens.
Absolutely. And it's crazy because, he just came out of nowhere, and he just joined Twitter, and all of a sudden he has 12,000 followers, and he works for the Space Force, But I will have to say something else, dude.
Hello there, kids. I'm sorry,
but that article was incredible. That article was incredible. I'm gonna put it down in the link description. And you know what? Even though we might not all agree on the specific nuances, we definitely both agree that Bitcoin essentially makes war obsolete, because it makes it
100,
because it makes it way too expensive. So if you want to end war, you want world peace, buy yourself some Bitcoin. But anyways, Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. All right, we've got Join Market version 0.9.1 that was released. It's a super duper sexy, extremely cool CoinJoin implementation aimed at improving the privacy and fungibility of Bitcoin transactions. Check it out down below.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. But before we go, I want to give a shout out to our awesome guest. He's literally like a brother of mine, man. This guy is the man. He is a taco carnivore Bitcoin pleb, and he is the pleb king of Bitcoin Kindergarten. Definitely go check out Bitcoin Kindergarten. You could find Phil and I almost every week there. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Definitely go check it out. Like we've been saying this privately for so long. It's like our sister channel. It's a different format, but I think it really encompasses the Bitcoin taco pleb ethos, and that's what we're all about. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the catastrophic fiat and shitcoin fails and the Bitcoin news from the pleb perspective, definitely consider subscribing. And we'll see you tomorrow, guys, for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
The Cubes is a clown.